Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Lido Loca Crew Show. The Lido Loca Crew Show. The Lido... Okay, I'm working out a new theme song there. I don't know if that will be the final theme song, but today's topic pretty interesting. I'm just... I don't know. I don't really know what to do with the Lido Loca Crew Show. I don't really know what to do. I got issues. And I thought maybe that we could work it out as a community. I get a lot of good advice from you guys. And yeah, so I thought I would lean heavily into you guys today, let you do most of the heavy lifting as we talk about the future of the Lido Loca Crew Show. Okay, official intro. Here we go. All right, welcome back to the show. Thank you for stopping by. My name's Tony, and like I say, if you enjoy that cruising content, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of our episodes. Well, look, I'm a proponent of make it and they will come. That has been my YouTube creative philosophy for 3 years. I'm going to make content. I might make stuff you've never seen before. You might respond well to it. You might not respond well to it. And you're going to come watch. And hopefully I will get a bigger audience that's interested about cruising. And we'll be one big happy family. We'll grow the cruising community. And yeah. We'll live that cruise life. That's been the philosophy. But along the way, I've also listened to the gurus. I've listened to the people out there saying this is how you grow your YouTube audience. And I'm unashamed about it. I do believe that if I'm going to take the time and put the effort in to make something, I want as many people to watch it, to listen to it, to connect with it as possible. And I'm unashamed with that. What's the point? You know, we want the biggest community that you can have. We want to have the largest reach that you can have, and we want to impact the most people that we can, really because I believe that behind most of my messages is this desire that people care about each other, that they love one another, that they sacrifice for one another, and I try to do that in the context of cruising. But I've struggled lately. I've struggled in this COVID world. I've struggled with the fact that most of the news is negative. I've struggled with the fact that people aren't really looking for cruise tips. The things that used to draw people to watch Lido Loca, those aren't necessarily the motivators anymore. Again, there's not a lot of people looking for packing tips on the cruise that they're uncertain that's going to come up with. So the landscape has changed, and it's left me a little bit in a quandary. It's a different scenario than we were in 3 years ago when every day Jenny and I would sit down and make a video. It's not necessarily the way it is now as we've grown our creative efforts, as we've grown our travel efforts. You know, a lot of the times it's just me making a video, and I think part of the magic is Jenny and I together, and I do want to get back to making more videos with Jenny, and we've been working on that. We've been working on a return of some of our favorite series, but at the same time, I still have this desire to sit down and talk about cruising daily, and just just chewing the fat with you guys, if that's an appropriate term. But I'm at a loss. I do like this format. I do like having this studio. Do I green screen? Do I do the studio? Do I do a show? I think at the end of the day, my framework would be something similar to like a late night talk show with the monologue part of it, where you kind of recap the news of the day. You may bring up some things that are interesting and really compact that into a 10 to 15 minute show that's consistent, that you get the same stuff every day, that you come back for more. It's a challenge because, you know, we talk about this a lot. The gurus talk about this a lot. You have your core people who follow you, and then you also have a larger group of people that don't. So how do you balance the people that like to watch what you do on a daily basis versus the people that you're trying to entice in? And it's hard. So, I mean, I've asked the question a couple times, what do you guys think I should do? And people are very sweet, and rightfully so. They say, do what you want to do. And I do believe that. But at the same time, I feel like I can put my thumbprint, my signature on whatever I do. So I do want to do something that people want to see. And then I like the challenge of trying to take what people want to see and putting my own spin on it. Let me talk about just the cruising content in general. Some people ask, like, oh, I feel like you had your idea copied, or did you get that inspiration for somewhere else? The reality is there's nothing new under the sun, right? I wasn't the first person that made a tip video, and I certainly won't be the last person that made a tip video. And while we've had some unique ideas that may have possibly been the inspiration for other people, obviously I've been inspired by other channels, people that have been doing it longer than we have. And so for me personally, there really is like nobody's got like a hold on any of the cruise topics. Like only somebody can talk about this or only somebody can talk about that. Part of what makes the community move forward, what makes the creative part of the community move forward, is each other kind of pushing each other, coming up with new ideas, pushing those ideas deeper, people coming on board, being inspired by those ideas, and then pushing it to the next level. And so that doesn't bother me. I know a lot of people, I've been asked on the back end, like, does it bother you when you see this, or does it bother? It doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't. It makes me excited that other people might be inspired. And again, I have to give homage to people that I'm inspired by. So, yeah, I think we're all one big community, at least the creators, of people that are trying to create new stuff, trying to create interesting stuff, trying to keep people entertained, educated, informed. And yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, of course, my friend Don said it well, and then I've seen it in other places. Truly, you're only competing with yourself. And so if you let competing with others kind of drive your ideas and your decisions, then eventually you're just going to be chasing your tail and you're going to lose out. So I don't know. I'm just kind of free rambling today on today's episode of the Lido Loca Cruise Show. But I do have some ideas. I do think people are interested in cruise news on a daily basis. But to me, videos that are just cruise news, they get a little overbearing, right? They get a little down. And so, like, I'm trying to figure out how to mix some cruise news with some tips or some interesting things like memes, those kind of things. And I don't know. I guess I'm just, this is a cry for help. I'm just reading the Lido Loca Cruise Show. I like the concept of a show. I like the idea of being a replacement for something that somebody would go watch on a network. And maybe I'm just being too optimistic, or maybe I'm just being too, what was the word that they used about Julius Caesar? Ambitious. Maybe that's what it was. If I'm being too ambitious, maybe it's a grievous fault. But I do believe in the idea that we can make these connection points on a daily basis, and we can talk about cruising on a daily basis, even though cruising isn't happening. So with all that in mind, I'm just any kind of feedback would be interesting. What do you like to be updated on? Are you solely a cruise news? Do you want to see some behind the scenes? Are you happy to cut up and think about things like memes? And I don't know. That's the assignment for you guys. How about that? I'm giving you assignment. This is the thing. I also want to do viewer questions. That's one thing I'm trying to come up with is a way. So if you have questions about cruising, send me an email, tony@lidoloca.com. I would love to highlight people in the community with their questions. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let's do this. Let's at least have some fun. What do you think the most popular cruise meme is? This one I have seen so many times in so many places. I would be interested to know in the comments, have you ever seen this cruise meme? Drum roll, please. Boom. If anyone is Christmas shopping for me, I wear a size 7 Caribbean cruise. Do you know that meme? Do you have any fresh cruise memes? Send it to me, tony@lidoloca.com. Another thing that I'm fascinated with, which I don't know would appeal to a broader audience, is the cruise tattoo. Anybody out there have nautical or cruise tattoos that you would like to send in that we could talk about? tony@lidoloca.com. And I did solicit only like 10 or 15 minutes ago on the Lido Loca cruising community. I would invite you to come over there. There's 11,000 cruisers over there talking about cruising. It's our Facebook group, but it's more just a community, really try to be a safe community where people can come talk about cruising. I did ask them a question Let's see if anybody has responded. So let me highlight this question by Michael Johnston. Michael Johnston, thank you for the question. Is it better at the end of the cruise to find a place to relax and let the crowds thin out, or try and follow the lines? This is an interesting concept. So we've done it both ways. We've gotten up early in the morning. We went and stood in a huge line with our luggage and waited to disembark so that we could get off the cruise ship as soon as possible. And it was hectic. You had to wake up early. You had to drag your luggage around. You had to stand in some line. You had to worry whether or not somebody was going to cut that line. And then eventually you were able to get off of the cruise ship. The benefit of that was that you were able to get off the cruise ship early and get on with the rest of your day. I do like that aspect of it. I don't like the getting up early. I don't like the waiting in lines. I don't like that hours worth of stress. I'm going to say it's about an hour to go through that stress. We've done it the other way, where we were almost the last people off of the cruise ship, and that was a lot nicer. We woke up on our own. We casually went down and we had breakfast. We relaxed for a little bit. We worked on the computer, and then we finally got to leave. The only reason that we did it like this is we were on the Carnival Vista and we weren't carrying off our own luggage, and then we got some number that meant we couldn't get off the cruise ship till almost last. So it was really nice to have breakfast, and it was like an extra 3 hours on the cruise that was super chill. When it really did stink is when we got off the cruise ship. It took a long time to get out of the terminal. It took a long time to get away from the port area. It took a long time to get back on the road. And so what would have probably taken us an hour to get away from the cruise terminal, to get out of the cruise terminal, to get away from the cruise terminal, took us about 3 hours. And so I can see it from both sides. It just depends. If you live close to the cruise terminal, or you have a late flight, something like that, where you're not in a rush to get away from the cruise terminal, I would say wait it out. Enjoy some breakfast. Just go super chill. Wait for the lines to die down. But if you've got somewhere to be and you don't want to dilly-dally around the terminal all day, I would say get up and suffer and get through that hour of stress so that you can get on with the rest of your day. Great question, Michael Johnston from the Facebook group. Okay, that's it. Nothing crazy. Just looking for feedback, and would love to hear what you guys like to hear. I do appreciate everybody that says just make what you want, and on most levels I am just making what I want. But I do want to have people watch what I make. So that's the balance. And maybe you guys can help me out, because I can't get in all of your heads. And my head is always a weird place to be. So any input would be appreciated. It's the Lido Loca Cruise Show. Should I sing that every day? I think that would be kind of cool. Lido Loca Cruise Show. I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Show your support for the show by hitting the like button. Check out some of our other videos. My name's Tony, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.